reflected their mindset last year. They're going to play the long game.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Day 28. I think I missed a week. Welcome back to Workout Grind. So, let me just. There you go. So, I'm back on the grind. I've been away for like a week or maybe even 2 weeks. Things came up lately. So, most notably, the things that came up are I'm going to the gym, and it's a good thing, yeah, because I actually have access to like actual machines that is designed to create an optimal, exercise. I don't have to rely on perfect form, it's just follow the machine. However, however, I go there in Fridays, right? That's not a good thing, because if I go there on Fridays, well, first, that's my work hours, Like I can't work out and work. And second, when I work out there, I heavily lose energy when I try to work out here, I'm already doing 2 sets of workouts A and B, and then in Monday I jog, like for cardio and stuff. It's difficult to adjust with that kind of routine, so I'm thinking of how I can, if it's possible for me to like actually commit to that schedule, or should I just drop it and like continue to my routine? I'm thinking it's much better for me to just continue to the routine, but it's such a waste, it's a gym. But anyways, enough of that. I have enough. I've for 2 weeks, like for 2 weeks in a row, every Friday I've been going to the gym over there. But then I did not have any other energy to work out because my body hurts and I'm not used to that kind of pain. And so I just sort of like skipped my workouts and my jogging. So I don't want that. I don't want that. Um, Today I've been able to recuperate without that much of a hitch, So yeah, I'm working out now, and yeah, I'm doing bicep curls, the biceps and the back workout. Okay, so forget what I said right now. I'll try to think of how I'm going to approach that in the future. But right now, let's focus on this first. My room is really messy. It's again a symbol of my mental state. I think I'm in decline, but that's okay, you know. Part of progress, never always being. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a slow, steady progress, and we're gonna show that. We're gonna show that. So right now, oh look at this. This is my phone screen. I just sort of got frustrated and just yanked it all off. It's all gone now. I'm gonna replace it. I bought new phone screens. I'm just waiting for them to arrive at AliExpress of all places. Pretty sharp, very dangerous. Uh, what else? Yep. So I'm gonna start working out now, but before that, I need to clean my room because I mean, look at this, man. It's a lot of rooms to clean. That's why I put an extra 8 minutes, just so I can allot a little bit of time for just cleaning up this whole mess. Lots of good news so far for me to talk about, but I want to save that at the end of this session. I don't think I'm gonna like do some whitening strips. I don't feel like doing any whitening strips, but I'm gonna do it. That's part of being consistent. Doing it even if you don't want to do it. Fucking weird. Weird as please. No missing. Okay. Good. Nothing's missing there. Just gonna close this. Put it back up there. It's here. Arrange this book thing. Put that there. Put this here. Probably not gonna need this anytime soon. So put it here. Okay, we can work on this. Okay. Now Did I read this? Oh, no, 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 no. I didn't read this. gonna use my watch today because my laptop it's wonky again. It won't charge in the first port, so it's just one port that's working right now. I can't charge my watch and my laptop at the same time, so can't have that. So I'm just gonna work out without it for now. Right? Hope that's okay. I'm just gonna get some pre and I'm gonna get my whitening strips and we're gonna start working out now. It took me way longer than I expected, but that's fine. Okay, let's go.
My name is Samra, and I'm an entrepreneur. But I didn't become an entrepreneur until I was 39 years old. Before that, I was fascinated by innovation and entrepreneurship, but I didn't see myself as an entrepreneur. This is despite the fact that when I was in middle school, both of my parents had started small businesses. My mom as an independent filmmaker, and my dad as a solo lawyer. But if you had asked me then if I knew any entrepreneurs, I would have said no. My parents didn't talk about themselves as entrepreneurs or to me about entrepreneurship, so I didn't see them as entrepreneurs. They talked to me about college and getting a good job. They were overjoyed when I got an internship in finance. But when I got my first full-time job at an early stage startup that perhaps you have heard of, Google, they were worried. They said, "Do real people actually work at that company? What do they do?" I went through most of my education and career believing that entrepreneurship was a pathway for some, but not for me. When I was at Stanford Business School, I saw all of these eager entrepreneurial types around me who seemed to know how to be an entrepreneur already. They spoke the lingo, they knew which classes to take, which people and professors to hang out with to make magic happen. That's what it seemed like to me, magic. There was this talk of unicorns and this mystique around what would lead to success. And the magical playbook seemed to have been shared with a very specific group. And that group did not look like me. These people had the confidence and the connections to make things happen, manifesting new companies from ideas on napkins. I did not understand how to do that type of manifestation. So I kept working to get good job after good job. And I told myself I was not entrepreneur material. I learned how to do jobs, but I didn't learn how to make jobs. It wasn't until I saw other Black women around me launching new ventures and calling themselves entrepreneurs that I really began to believe I could do it too. And by that point, I was 39 years old. My journey is far from unique. Even now, when I talk to young Black folks about who they see as entrepreneurs, I hear Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. And when they do name Black entrepreneurs, there are very specific lanes. In sports, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Serena Williams. In entertainment, Beyonce, Jay-Z, maybe Nipsey Hussle. I want to change the narrative around who becomes an entrepreneur in this country. So this is the work that I do. I work with young Black folks to help demystify entrepreneurship so they can learn how to make jobs and not just do jobs. We should all care about this. Entrepreneurship has driven extraordinary wealth in this country. Of the 100 wealthiest people in the United States, 63 of them built their wealth in their own lifetimes through companies they founded themselves. Only one of those 63 is Black. We should all care about this. And it turns out there is a way to move the needle. We have an opportunity to demystify entrepreneurship for Black young people. And if we get this right, the potential for all of us is enormous. So, what should we do? First, we need to share the multiple pathways to entrepreneurship with young people so that they can see themselves reflected in them. There are so many different ways to be an entrepreneur, from side hustling to small business ownership, intrapreneurship, building a high-growth tech company, and many more. But one of those pathways, the high-growth tech one, gets way more attention than the others. There's a whole culture and a guy in a hoodie persona that goes along with that pathway. It's not really very inclusive. So in our work, we share all of the pathways to entrepreneurship with young people. and we help them find what feels like the right fit for them. We share the origin stories of other entrepreneurs who have walked a path that our young entrepreneurs might want to explore. We help them understand that they can show up as an entrepreneur in a way that feels authentic to them, and that there's no one way to be an entrepreneur. And that leads to the next thing we need to do. We have to intentionally provide a much more diverse set of role models to young people. We can talk about Mark and Elon, but we also have to highlight Taupe, who founded Calendly, or Shantae, who created Black Girl Sunscreen. There's Robert, who started Compass Real Estate, and Julia, who launched Planet Forward, a decarbonization platform. There is a deep legacy of entrepreneurship in communities of color, and there are countless Black innovators across every industry that we can and should be raising up as role models. And we need to make those role models feel proximate so that young people can say, I can see myself in this person and their journey, and I don't have to wait 20 years to get started. One of the best ways to make role models proximate is through near-peer mentorship. Our near-peers are young entrepreneurs who are just a few years farther along in their journeys, like Ahmed, who's a freelance filmmaker, or Jada, who has her own lash tech business, or Florence, who's an emerging product designer. She helped design these shoes I'm wearing. Each of these mentors can bring their own authentic identity as a young entrepreneur to demonstrate what's possible for other young people. Finally, when I think about the biggest drivers of entrepreneurial inequity, in the end, it all comes down to relationships. Who has access to the relationships who will help them achieve their goals, and who doesn't? This is social capital, and it's just as critical to entrepreneurial success as financial capital. Every successful entrepreneur I've spoken to can point to an introduction or an opportunity that came to them through their relationships that changed the trajectory of their journey. And accessing and mobilizing your social capital is a skill that can be learned. It's not just something that some people know how to do and others don't. So in our work, we help young people understand who is in their networks already. We help them build the confidence to reach out to those who might be willing to support them. We help them build fluency with tools like LinkedIn. We help break down what can feel like a really complex and scary process around building your entrepreneurial network into more approachable pieces. And we take an asset-based lens, affirming that young people already know people who can help them achieve their goals. I've seen young people go from tentatively curious about entrepreneurship to seeing themselves as entrepreneurs in the span of 10 weeks. I've seen the spark that grows when young people see identity-affirming role models, often for the first time, who are innovators. And I've seen the feeling of power and agency that comes from recognizing the social capital that you already have that can help you achieve your goals. This is the real magic. This is the work that I do, but we should all care about this because it matters well beyond the young people we serve. If you care about equity, the median Black family holds only 15% of the wealth of the median white family. If we're only teaching Black young people how to do jobs and not make jobs, then we will continue to see that wealth gap persist. If you care about the economy, closing the earnings gap could add over $8 trillion to the US economy by 2050. That's a T, trillion. And if you care about the resilience of our workforce, especially given technologies like AI, it's imperative that we teach young people how to make new jobs. By one estimate, people in the lowest income brackets could be up to 14 times more likely to need to change jobs due to AI. If we're only teaching young people how to do jobs that exist today, then we're not actually preparing them for their futures. I'm proof that you can start to see yourself as an entrepreneur later in life and still do something meaningful. I started my organization 4 years ago at 39, and while we're still early, I believe we have big things ahead. But I also believe that if I had started at 19 or even 29, I would be at a different stage as an entrepreneur today. I'd probably be on my second or third startup. I'd have already learned some lessons that I'm learning right now. I'm also working to unlearn decades of not seeing myself as an entrepreneur. Imagine the magic that would be possible, not just for them, but for all of us, if our young people could start to see themselves as makers of jobs and not just doers of jobs earlier on. Thank you.
This is for my mom, even though when I called her to say, hey, have you heard of TED, T-E-D? She said, oh my God, Kelly, it's not another virus, is it? As a 21-year-old, I was drawn to the word brave. I had a soft spot for ripping yarns and the people who could tell them. So, Odyssey on the brain, I went out adventure collecting. Without knowing how to spell starboard or which side it referred to, I got on a 46-foot boat and I sailed from Malta to Tunisia to Sicily. I traveled 11,000 miles over 13 months to 7 different countries without a plan or a phone or a credit card, just $3,800 in traveler's checks, which, if you're under 30, was like a little booklet of perforated, I don't know, and some expired antibiotics my mom made me bring. And then, running out of money, I landed as a nanny for 2 kids, 4 and 7, who had just lost their mom. I moved into their house so I could cover things on the 3 days a week their dad worked as a flight attendant for Qantas. I smeared sunblock on their noses and Vegemite on their toast. I read them to sleep at night. I cleaned the counters. The heavy lifting was left for the truly brave, a man who organized his emotions and answered the hardest questions such that his kids and hers could feel a modicum of safety in a patently unsafe world. Questions like, what is cremation? And what happens to us if you die? And so it is that I stood witness to the unphotographable, unmeasurable bravery of some guy named Jim in Sydney, Australia. And over the years since, I find I just can't stop cataloging these Olympic achievements in family life. The really big things often come with a game plan and a team of experts and enough adrenaline to lift a school bus over your head. But inside every crisis you think you might be ready for are 100 dirty surprises that are not in the playbook. I had stage 3 cancer in my 30s, and I can tell you that following the chemo schedule didn't take nearly as much courage as admitting to my husband that sex felt less sexy after my boobs, which were once a real strong suit for me, were made weird and uneven by a surgeon's knife. Here's a surprise. My friend's father, in his final days, addled by dementia, chased her around the second floor with a fork he hid in his pajamas. They tell you there will be loss. They don't tell you you will be required to love your dad even as he's coming for you with silverware. I've interviewed 228 people from my PBS show and my podcast, people with huge careers, Grammys and Pulitzers and NBA championships. And I listen to their stories and I'm duly impressed. But I tell you the ones they know the best, the ones they can't tell without choking up. The moment when Brian Stevenson's grandmother, or Steve Kerr's father, or Samantha Power's stepfather, or Cecile Richards' mom was right there with the right words or the right silence at the right moment. This bravery I'm talking about might even be better understood if you look at the smaller moments of injury in family life, when there's not really an answer, or it might be your fault, or it might remind you of something you'd rather forget, or because people are so suggestible, and the wrong tone or expression or phrasing might somehow make things worse. Say your kid was dropped from a group text. They were in it, they mattered, they belonged, and then poof. Or your husband blew the big deal at work, or your mom won't wear the diapers that would really help her get through Mahjong on Wednesdays. And how should we calibrate the exquisite bravery to respond productively when someone in our family looks at us and says, "Do I know you?" I weigh myself before and after every meal. I hear voices. I steal. I'm using again. He raped me. She says I raped her. I cut myself. I bought a gun. I stopped taking the medication. I can't stop making online bets. Sometimes I wonder if more life is really worth all this effort. Bravery is the great guts to move closer to the wound, as composed as a war nurse holding eye contact and saying these 7 words: "Tell me more. What else? Go on." That's how the brave shine. That's all they do. They say, "Tell me more. What else? Go on." Even if they're scared of what might happen next, even if they have no training or experience to prepare them for this moment, even if it's late and they have an early flight. Here's 2 things the brave don't do. They don't take over and become the hero. Like it's a battle and the moves are so obvious, you just pick up a weapon with your ripped pecs and ropey veins and start slaying. In families, bravery is mostly just sitting there with a posture that communicates, "I can hear anything you want to tell me," and a nice warm face of love that says, "This is so hard, but you will figure it out." Personally, I thought love meant action. I had no idea it could be so still. When things get hairy for one of my people, everything in me wants to grab a clipboard, make a to-do list, and start calendaring appointments. Because where there's love, there's attachment. And I don't care what the gurus say. What's happening to them is also happening, at least at some level, to us. And all that can accidentally put us center stage, no longer the coach or the minister, but rather one of the afflicted. But these gritty endurance types I've been admiring have no self and no needs and no agenda, or at least they know how to override all that for the main character who is not us. The second thing the brave don't do, leave or hide inside work or hobbies or some other socially acceptable busyness. In my worst moments, when sitting on my hands is just unbearable, I have dreamed of going to get an MFA in Paris. Because if I can't help, why do I have to watch? It would be nice to leave and start again. Hardly anyone who's been in a long marriage hasn't at least wondered how it is that the object of their desire has become so burpy and farty, so bingo-armed and turkey-necked. Sometimes I see myself naked, stretch marks from pregnancies, scars from cancer surgeries, other things that I don't feel you need to be visualizing right about now. And I think it's a miracle that man stays with me. But, you know, he's not untouched by time either. And that's just the physical. I mean, who here hasn't wanted to be with someone who hasn't seen us eating on the toilet or bitching at the Comcast guy? Leaving behind our own humiliating history, maybe with the nice person we met at art school in Paris. It's an option. People take it. The brave hang around. They are available and ready to bear witness. The final act of bravery was made clear for me during a conversation with my friend Liz while she was dying at 46. She said she had this weird, long, totally convincing dream where all the parents who, as she put it, had to leave early were gathered. And there she was, one of thousands of moms and dads, and they were on folding chairs looking down at the world below through a thick glass floor. And in this imaginary space her subconscious created, there was one rule. You could watch your child's life unfold, but you could only intervene once. In Liz's dream, a perfect dream, she never had to intervene. She had given them enough while she was here. The final act, then, of the truly brave is leaning back and letting them go. The reward for all this bravery, not gold medals, not hero shots for Strava, not ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, or owning the dinner party with Burning Man stories, I think you know who you are. Maybe not even thanks. The reward is a full human experience, complete with all the emotions at maximum dosage, where we have been put to great use and found an other-centric love that is complete in its expression and its transmission. The reward is to...
I'm sorry. So, can't do this anymore. It's not that I'm tired or anything, but it's already 8:30. I need to be up running around by 9, and I still need to take a bath, and I need to eat and stuff like that, you know. I'm gonna pass right now. Just step back. This stays on because it needs 1 hour, but yeah. I'm gonna go downstairs now. Anyways, I'll just give you a little bit of storytelling. Last 2 weeks was a blast. Lots of cool changes. My watch, it's really cool now. He's this thing right here, it lasts for 10 hours now. First it lasts for like 6 hours. I was like, wait, what? Why are you 6 hours? And then tomorrow after that it goes 7 hours, then 8 hours, and then 10 hours. crazy. But that was in power saving mode, battery saving mode. I tried without battery saving mode. 8 hours. Crazy. But still, that's not enough. I mean, I'm happy for sure. But I was kind of expecting this to happen eventually. But I wanted more. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Just a little request. It ain't bad, right? Ain't bad to dream. Anyways, that's that. What else? I play Genshin. Is it the time now? Which is bad. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm gonna put a timer on how many hours I'm gonna play Genshin right now, so I don't overplay or something like that. And I'm about to finish React tutorial, which is great. What else? Pretty much it. I work out, as I mentioned in the start of the video, I work out and I go to the gym now every Fridays, so my energy levels are usually low, but I think if you keep on putting yourself like this, you're gonna eventually gain up an extra little bit of stamina, so that's good as well. What else? Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. Actually, I don't really know. Yesterday, nothing happened. Watched anime. Haikyuu full anime, so I already watched it, but that's it. Right. I guess I'm gonna go take a bath now. See you guys. Catch you all later. Hope I can do this tomorrow, but this time more earlier and a little bit more consistent.